On the evening of July 6, 2021, a journalist was leaving the studio of Dutch TV network RTL Boulevard, located in the heart of Amsterdam, after giving an interview. As he walked toward his car, he was ambushed on a busy street in broad daylight. A gunman approached him and shot him 5 times, with at least 1 bullet striking him in the head. This brazen attack wouldn't just spark outrage in the Netherlands, it would send shockwaves across Europe. This was just another casualty in the rising European drug trade, and people had reached their limit.
The Diary of Money.
Let's return to the story that we broke in just the past hour. The Dutch crime reporter Peter R. de Vries has died.
A bustling Amsterdam street cordoned off by police as authorities investigate the shooting of one of the Netherlands' best-known crime reporters.
Now, a string of mafia-style murders in the Netherlands has led to questions about whether drug gangs are threatening the rule of law in the country. The high-profile killings include that of investigative journalist Peter de Vries.
De Vries had made powerful enemies within the Mocro Mafia. He had been serving as a trusted advisor to Nabil B., a former associate of Taghi's organization who had turned state witness in a high-profile trial. Nabil's testimony was a key component in the prosecution's case against Taghi, linking him to several murders and major drug trafficking operations. The decision to help Nabil B. had put de Vries in the crosshairs of Taghi's cartel. Before de Vries, both Nabil's brother and his lawyer, Dirk Wiersum, had been assassinated, likely to intimidate anyone associated with the case. Taghi's network was notorious for silencing witnesses, lawyers, and anyone who posed a threat. And de Vries, being a high-profile journalist and advocate for Nabil, became the next target. So the question is, who's Ridouan Taghi? Ridouan Taghi, once a small-time criminal in the Netherlands, has become the face of Europe's increasingly powerful and violent drug trade. Born in Morocco and raised in Utrecht, Taghi began his career with petty crimes, but his ambitions quickly expanded. By his late 20s, he had risen through the ranks of the Dutch underworld, cultivating an empire built on the import and distribution of cocaine. Taghi's ascent coincided with the growth of the Netherlands as a major hub for drug trafficking in Europe. The country's vast ports, especially in Rotterdam and Antwerp, made it an ideal gateway for South American cocaine flowing into Europe. Leveraging these entry points, Taghi's organization, known as the Mocro Mafia, controlled much of the trade, moving tons of drugs across the continent. Taghi wasn't just a skilled smuggler, he was a master strategist. He carefully cultivated alliances with South American drug cartels, particularly those in Colombia and Brazil, ensuring a steady supply of cocaine. He also forged strong ties with Moroccan drug lords, allowing his network to expand its reach across multiple continents.
Now, the Netherlands now is, without a doubt, a narco state and the crime capital of the European Union. I mean, all the drugs flow through Rotterdam, all of it. Every single ecstasy pill is manufactured in the Netherlands. They invented that shit.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and there's people getting killed left and right. There's gangs fighting. There's lawyers, journalists getting killed on the street, broad daylight.
Jesus.
Just because they're trying to, they call it the Mocro Mafia, which is mainly Moroccans. You know, it used to be you could kill someone for 5,000 euros, now it's 50. You can get anyone to drive by in a scooter and kill somebody. It's fucked up, and people pretend it's not happening.
Taghi's organization, which was originally centered in the Netherlands, soon grew into a pan-European drug network. But his influence wasn't confined to Europe alone. Ridouan Taghi fled to Dubai in the mid-2010s as European law enforcement began to close in on his drug operations. And after several murders linked to his organization drew massive attention in the Netherlands. By the time he settled in Dubai, Taghi had already built a vast criminal network. Taghi is believed to have operated behind the scenes, using encrypted communication networks to manage his cartel and direct shipments from a safe distance. Even though he was no longer physically in Europe, he remained a major player in the drug trade, overseeing key decisions, including the logistics of smuggling cocaine, handling finances, and managing violence within his organization. Dubai's transformation into a major hub for organized crime stems from several factors. First, its geographic position is ideal. Situated between Europe, Asia, and Africa, it serves as a crossroads for international trade, both legal and illicit. Criminals use the city's modern infrastructure and connectivity to coordinate drug shipments, launder money, and hide from authorities. Second, Dubai has historically had lax extradition treaties, particularly with Western nations. For criminals like Ridouan Taghi, this meant they could operate relatively freely without the immediate fear of being sent back to their home countries. This allowed Taghi to build and run his operations in Europe, while hiding behind Dubai's glittering skyline. Finally, the city's booming real estate and financial markets provided ample opportunities for money laundering. Drug lords could easily invest their profits in high-end properties, or use Dubai's banking system to move money around the world without attracting too much attention. This has made Dubai attractive to various criminal organizations seeking to legitimize their drug money and run their criminal networks. But the walls were closing in on the drug kingpin. After years of evading authorities, operating from the shadows, Taghi was finally arrested in December 2019 in Dubai. His capture followed a joint operation between Dutch and UAE authorities, aided by intelligence services across Europe and the Middle East. Due to the violent nature of his organization and its proven willingness to eliminate anyone who posed a threat, the proceedings took place in a heavily guarded courtroom in Amsterdam, known as the Bunker, a fortified complex designed to hold high-risk trials. The trial proceedings had also been marked by numerous attempts at intimidation. There were concerns that witnesses and lawyers involved in the case were in danger. Even the Prime Minister.
Scenes like this could be a thing of the past.
Morgen. Hoi, morgen.
The Dutch Prime Minister likes to cultivate an approachable image. But recently, Mark Rutte has had to up his security after police observed threats from drug criminals.
Ridouan Taghi's trial was one of the most high-profile and complex criminal proceedings in Dutch history. On October 2023, Ridouan Taghi was sentenced to life in prison by the court. He was found guilty of orchestrating multiple murders and attempted murders, many of which were carried out to eliminate rivals, silence witnesses, or enforce control within his criminal organization. The court also convicted him of involvement in large-scale cocaine smuggling and directing his criminal empire from Dubai. Alongside Taghi, several of his close associates were also convicted and handed life sentences, marking a major victory for Dutch law enforcement in their battle against organized crime. The Ridouan Taghi story sheds light on how Europe has become a central battleground for the global drug trade. Cocaine seizures in Europe have reached record levels, with the ports of Rotterdam and Antwerp seizing tons of the drug every year. The ports of Rotterdam in the Netherlands and Antwerp in Belgium are two of the busiest ports in all of Europe. A record 46.8 tons of cocaine were seized at the port of Rotterdam in 2022. The cocaine seized in Rotterdam in 2022 had an estimated street value of $3.9 billion. And in Antwerp, they set a new record by seizing over 110 tons of cocaine, making it the top European port for drug interceptions. This represented an increase from the 90 tons seized in 2021. The cocaine seized in Antwerp in 2022 had an estimated street value of around $6 billion,